Hi, Daphne. Where have you been? You've been gone forever. I haven't heard you in forever, seen you in forever.
Forever, ever, ever?
Ever.
And ever after that ever?
Like 2 months.
Yeah, haven't seen you in this space in about 2 months.
Yep.
Been a long time.
Been a while.
Well, it's been longer than 2 months because we recorded that and then released it like 2 weeks later, the last one we did.
Yeah.
So it's really been like a long ass time.
Yep. A long time.
A long ass time, a lot of deaths, a couple new tattoos. Life.
Life has been full and
my
sad.
soul dog died, and so I got a tattoo to cope with the pain of my soul dog dying. Yeah. That's really all. Not really, but
right.
A lot of life, not a lot we need to dive into. Are you ready for my disturbing fact?
I would love to hear your disturbing fact.
Okay, you can hear my disturbing factoid.
Factoid. I literally was going to say that too, but then I held myself back.
Factoid.
I have another word. Just wait till I get in my case. I've always wanted to say it, and I was able to work it in.
Superfluous? What's
No,
that
not
word?
superfluous.
I can't say it, and I really want to like incorporate that word into my vocabulary.
You have to be able to pronounce it.
Yeah,
though.
but I can't do that.
Okay. No, it's not superfluous. I'll point it out when I get there.
It's the dichotomy of our vocabulary, the words I want to say versus things I can pronounce.
Yeah.
Okay. My disturbing fact. It comes from a study. It was a study that was done in 2006. That was a report that was published by the National Academies of Sciences Institute of Medicine that described poor handwriting that led to over 7,000 deaths and 1.5 million medical errors.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's probably because fucking doctors, you can't read their handwriting and you go, oh, whoops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The illegible handwriting can result in the wrong drug being dispensed, the wrong dosage being dispensed, or like drug names that look similar that aren't. So like the example it gave me when I was researching this was Celebrex versus Celexa, which one of them is kind of like an ibuprofen, if you will, whereas the other one is an SSRI. So very different. It's
very
like,
different.
Am I taking this because my knees hurt or because my brain hurts? Like, my knee hurt, but all of a sudden my brain feels way better. Or there was a really, really, really bad tragic case of a little baby who was prescribed 0.5 milligrams of clonidine and received 5 milligrams.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. But like, as the person dispensing that, wouldn't you question that and be like, wow, that seems like a lot?
Right? When you're looking at the birth date of said person.
Yeah. Or the weight. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, when I worked in the veterinary industry, I always was like, hey, is this what you mean? And they'd be like, oh, no. I'm like, like, what the fuck are you doing? And they would always say, oh, we really appreciate you double checking us.
I always appreciate you double checking us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people fuck up things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the study offered some very kind solutions to these medical mishaps. And one of them is that pharmacists should verify with doctors that should be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Not an assumption, just a thing that happens. That incorporating a barcode system of, scanning
prescriptions and drugs and dispensing doses and all that.
Yep. And then keeping files making files electronic. No, sorry, not electric. Electronic. That's a really electric file, man.
Electric.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Kind of interesting.
It is very interesting. 7,000 deaths in 2006 alone.
The study.
Oh, the study.
The study
what was the
found-
study time frame?
It was published in 2006. I don't know what the time frame was,
Okay.
but it was published in 2006. So whatever the timeline that they were using the study was. I'm sorry, I have my phone on airplane mode
It's fine.
because it will blow up right now if I don't have it in airplane mode.
Okay. Actually blow up.
It will actually explode.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's
thank
been
you.
so hot. It might actually literally explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car said it was 108 today.
I think that's just on the street. I mean, I
I
realize
was
it's freaking hot.
I was
My
actively
thing
driving.
says it's 96 outside.
Yeah. When I was getting gas earlier and I was in the shade, it said it was 103.
Oh, cool down.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready for what you got.
Okay. So I called this one The Scandalous Story of Virginia Rappe and Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. Already fucking up.
Ooh, Arbuckle, Fatty Arbuckle.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, tell me more, tell me more.
So obviously you've heard of this case because you're like, ooh, Fatty Arbuckle.
Well, the Hollywood, right?
Mhm.
I'm thinking that correct. Yes, okay. I don't know all the details, though, so tell me. Tell me everything.
Tell
You
me all
know I'm
the details.
fascinated with old Hollywood shit. Tell me more, tell me more.
Tell you more. Okay, and as always, I'm going to give you background because that's just how I do.
That's just what we do here.
Right. So Virginia Rappe was born in Chicago in 1891 to a single mother.
Fuck, that was so long ago. I'm sorry. I just had this moment of like, wow, like 1991. That was like 100 years since 1891. And if we're talking from that to that, that's like 30 years plus. So that's like 130 years ago. That was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. But
That
she's
was-
not still alive.
Almost 140 years ago.
It's crazy. Long time ago.
Oh my God.
That's what you call history.
Yeah, yes, thank you. But I'm just like,
Daphne just gave me this look like, fuck you. I get it.
I'm just like, that was just so long ago.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Actually-
mind-boggling.
Yeah. Things happened before you were born. What?
It shocks me that records are kept for that long.
Gosh,
Because-
records go back way before that.
Well, yeah, maybe sometimes because, you know, every time they try to get a police file that's old, it's like, oh no, the police station burned down.
Those were accidentally destroyed.
Right. Oh, there was a flood.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready
I'm ready.
to be non-overwhelmed by 1891?
It's overwhelming, but yeah, I'm ready to be non-overwhelmed.
I'm ready to be underwhelmed.
I'm ready to be underwhelmed by her life before cell phones were invented, before cars were even invented, or like around the time cars were invented, maybe.
Daphne. Well, things were not invented yet.
This is before the Titanic. That's the timeline. This is
that's
pre-Titanic.
Pre-Titanic, yes.
Okay, sorry. Proceed.
Okay, so
Virginia Rappe.
she was raised by her grandmother after her mother's death. And like I said, her mom was a single mom, right? So at 18 years old, she began working as a model. And she moved to San Francisco to pursue her career in modeling. And she was on
What happened to her mom?
Her mom died.
Yeah, like how?
I don't know.
You're like, her mom died. You're like, her mom died and she was 18 and she was raised by her grandma. I'm like, do you really have to be raised by your grandma if your mom dies when you're 18?
No, she was raised by her grandmother after her mother's death. And I didn't look to see how old she was when her mom died.
Okay.
But when
because
she was
I'm like,
18,
the way
she
you
moved on
just
with her
said
life.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like,
Sorry.
oh, she's 18, all of a sudden getting raised by her grandma.
No.
Grandma's
sorry.
like, oh,
I don't know
we
how
need
old she
to
was
fix
when
some
she
things.
died. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's fine.
Because it's as long as it is. And so I
Okay,
even
got
almost
it.
cut all this out. But then I was like, no, backstory is interesting.
It is interesting. Okay, sorry. She moved to San Francisco to model.
Yeah. She was on magazine covers and like sheet music covers. You know what sheet music is?
I do. Remember,
Okay.
I played the violin for like 6 weeks.
If you want to call it that. Anyway. And she became like a very familiar face, like people, like models nowadays. And you're like, oh, that's so and so and so and so. And that was her, right? So people knew who she was.
Okay, she was a Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, well, she was, a Christy Brinkley or a...
Who?
Exactly. That's my time. Well, when I was little. I'm trying to think. Oh, who's your time? The one that's married to Adam Levine. Anyway.
Giselle?
Yeah, there you go. No,
That's not really
Giselle's married to Tom Brady.
Oh, Behati. But those aren't really like Kendall Jenner's probably.
Okay. Well, somebody who's a model who's familiar, you look at them, you see them all the time. Anyway, this is way off topic. So she was making like $4,000 a year,
I'm
which
like, whose face is on everything?
yeah, she was $4,000 a year. So that's like over $100,000 in today's money. So she was making bank.
Okay.
She was doing very well.
I feel like
for herself.
models make way more than that though in today's money.
Yeah, but $100,000 is good money.
It is good money, but I'm just saying I feel like models make
Well,
way
yeah,
more
they
than
do.
that.
Well, we're not comparing yesterday's models to today's models. I'm just saying for that time. she
Girl,
made
that was not yesterday's model. That was 140 years ago's model.
poor history.
Proceed.
In 1915, she met, don't even go there. Yes, it was also a long time ago. She met a fashion designer named Robert Moskowitz, and they became engaged. Daphne has her hand up.
How soon after meeting did they get engaged?
I don't know. It just says she met him and then they became
they were
engaged.
married the next week.
Shortly after they got engaged, he was killed in a streetcar accident.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah.
A streetcar or just a car?
No, a streetcar, like one of those, like a bus. but like, never mind. It's an old school bus. They're like on a rail train, a streetcar.
Okay, got it.
So,
like a light rail, but an old school light rail?
Yes. There you go.
Got it.
But how do you get hit by one? But anyway, okay. Wouldn't you be like, oh, that's coming?
I feel like people accidentally get hit by trains all the time.
I guess it's coming.
I've never met anyone obviously who's hit by a train and lived to tell. But I was going to say, I've never met anyone who was accidentally hit by a train and was like, yeah, that was an accident. Or someone who was like, oh, I did that on purpose. It sounded like a good idea. Except for if you watch the movie Joe Dirt, remember the dad with Brandy? Was it Brandy's dad? Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
He gets run over and he loses half of his leg.
By a train.
And then he shoots the dog. That was horrible.
Yes, Joe Dirt. Classic favorite.
That's the saddest part of that whole movie.
Yes. She is engaged to this guy who's a dress designer. He gets killed by a streetcar. And then she has learned from him. And so she herself became a dress and a hat designer. And during World War I, she was known for her designs, which were mostly white to convey peace. And then she also had a hat that kind of looked like dove wings. That was called a peace hat. Not something I would wear, but I can appreciate the sentiment.
I think that might sound kind of cool, but I guess not. Maybe, I don't know. We have very different tastes, though.
It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, we have very different tastes, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Might I add again?
So she moved to LA to be part of the motion picture industry, which was just starting to take off. So there's already been movies, there's silent movies, they're starting to have voices and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just starting to be like big mainstream, right? Where everybody's like, oh, let's go to the movies.
Okay.
So she's,
What year is this?
1917 or 18.
Okay.
I think.
World War I-ish.
Yeah. Because she already had a bit of notoriety because of her fashion design and being a model. She became a successful actress by 1920.
Nice.
So she moved pretty quickly. And Virginia became engaged to producer and director in 1919. So before
she became famous.
Right. So maybe it's a casting couch situation. I don't really know. But
I feel like maybe perhaps.
But they got engaged.
Except for the fact that she already had some
notoriety.
She had some fame.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stereo. It's fine. Producer director, his name was Henry Learman, and he was a well-known producer director. He had worked with Charlie Chaplin and Roscoe Arbuckle.
Charlie Chaplin or Charlie Chapman?
Charlie Chaplin.
Is Charlie Chapman a person?
I don't know, but Charlie Chaplin's he was like silent film.
I know. He wears the top hat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not a top hat. It's a bowler, I think they call it.
It's a bowler hat. I'm sorry. Yeah. I do know what that is.
Okay. So anyway, he worked with Charlie Chaplin and Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, as he was known. And I did air quotes because I don't want to call people fatty. Kind of rude.
Yeah, but that's how he was known.
Right.
It's not like you're like, damn.
But that's how he was known professionally. Like, personally, people didn't go around calling him Fatty. They called him Roscoe. They were like, hey, Fatty, what's up? They're like, hey, Roscoe, how's it going? All right. Back to it. God, we haven't done this in so long.
I'm just thinking of Crane Neck. No, professionally and personally. That's how he was referred to. He was just Crane Neck.
Crane Neck. Okay, so probably that's how she met Fatty Arbuckle, because she was with this director producer, right? Who knew him, who worked with him. So presumably that's how
married.
They were engaged.
Okay.
They were engaged. So that's presumably how she was introduced to Arbuckle, who would later be accused of causing her death. They ended up working in a few movies together, and Arbuckle was fascinated with beautiful women, and it was reported that he sent Virginia a number of gifts, including gold watch, which was inscribed.
Ooh.
It's a very fancy.
I wonder what happened to the gold watch.
Don't know. So Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was born in 1887 in Kansas, and he was one of 9 children and believed by his father to be illegitimate because at birth he weighed over 13 pounds. And both of his parents had slim builds. So his father named him after a senator, Roscoe Conking from New York, who was notorious for being a philanderer, who he fucking absolutely despised. So he names his kid, who he thinks is not really his kid, after someone he hates.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, right?
That's a great dad move.
Let's lay the foundation here.
Right.
So,
let's lay the foundation of hate for your child.
You're just a little baby and your dad thinks he hates you already. So that's cool. It's not your fault.
That's so sad.
It is sad. So, like I said, laying the foundation here. So when
I appreciate it. Why do you think I didn't like that story? I felt sad about that story.
Yes.
But I like it.
So when Roscoe...
Because I understand.
That your dad hates you and thinks you're illegitimate? I don't think so.
No, I understand being like, ew, I hate you. I'm going to name you something horrible.
I don't.
Oh, people that I don't like anymore have really shitty names
but you
in
haven't
my
given
phone.
birth to them.
I haven't given birth to them. You're not wrong.
No. So when he was 2 years old...
Ex-boyfriends in my phone are piece of shit, douchebag-ass motherfucker.
Nice. They moved to Santa Ana, California. When he was just 8 years old, Roscoe started performing with an acting group, and he did this until his mother died. Because of Roscoe's size, the birth was traumatic to his mother, and it resulted in chronic health issues that contributed to her death, and she died when Roscoe was 11.
Aw.
So after his mother's death, his father, who was always a dick to him anyway, refused to support him. So he's 11 years old and he's basically like, bye, fucker.
That's so sad.
So he got work at a hotel doing odd jobs where he was also taken in by the hotel owner. So he got to live in the hotel and he worked at the hotel.
Okay.
And he was tutored by a teacher who lived at the hotel. So he's still getting educated. And he was always singing while he worked. And one time there was a professional singer staying at the hotel. And this person heard him sing and said that he should perform in an amateur talent show. And this amateur talent show was basically people who came out and performed in front of an audience who judged acts by either like cheering for them or booing for them, right?
That's so sad.
Right? You suck. Yeah, you're good.
Right? Could you imagine you're like, I got nominated by like some hot shot to get up here and sing, and then you get done and everybody's like, boo!
Right.
You sucked.
Or booing while you're in the process
right,
of...
throwing tomatoes at you.
Yeah.
Aw.
And the bad acts were literally pulled off the stage using a shepherd's crook. You know the shepherd's crook?
Aw. Why don't we do that anymore?
I don't know. I think it's not PC anymore to do that.
But it would be fun.
You have to tell everybody they did a great job and give them their participation ribbon no matter how much they sucked. Anyway, that's just my own personal
back then
opinion.
had so much more character.
Right? So Roscoe did some singing and dancing and some other just random silliness. And the audience was pretty unimpressed by him and they were booing him. And when he saw the shepherd's crook coming from behind the curtain to yank him off stage, he like panicked and he somersaulted into the orchestra pit and the crowd went crazy. And this launched his career in vaudeville.
What is vaudeville?
It's like the shows that are like campy, like funny, like, but they're like on stage.
Okay, so like a comedy comedy skit on the stage?
Yeah, exactly. Like short version, you know what I mean? Like shorts that are funny, campy, stupid stuff.
Got it.
So he later became a major motion picture star, earning $1 million a year, which is like over 20 million today.
They're
and
like,
Daphne's like, oh my God, that's nothing compared to what they make. Fucking, I'll take 20 million. I'll take 1 million. I'll take 100,000.
I think 20 million is fair for today's money for
that
actors.
was that day's money.
I know, but I'm saying today, I think that sounds right. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know
For
how much.
one fucking movie, not a year.
Maybe.
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are. So anyway, fast forward to Labor Day.
I don't know. The stars of, I'm sorry, I was just going to cut you off and say the stars
Clearly.
of the season 3 of White Lotus were all paid across the board, like $300,000.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, they weren't paid a lot, but I mean, it's such a big show that, you know.
Weren't the Kardashians paid like $1 million an episode or some bullshit like that?
I don't know. I think Millie Bobby Brown in Stranger Things like makes 5 million or something, 4 million per episode or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'd have to fact check that, but she makes a lot of money per episode. But the people of White Lotus, or 300,000 per episode, something like that, maybe. I don't know. Either way, they all got equal pay across the board. And, you know, we're talking like the one guy played fucking, what was his name? The Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter. One of the actors was Lucius Malfoy. Another one of the actors is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kid.
So
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
So
well-known people, and there's people that aren't that well-known either, you know,
right.
But they're all making the same baseline pay,
well,
which is cool because it's, I mean, if you get to be on White Lotus, like that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, for sure. For real.
So
for real.
Sorry. Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's okay.
I don't know why.
So
it related to that ish.
Fast forward to Labor Day, September 5th, 1921. Arbuckle, Fred Fishbach, and Lowell Sherman rented suites.
Fred Fishbach.
rented suites at the Francis Hotel in San Francisco with the intention of throwing a party in one of the suites. This was during Prohibition because it's 1921, right? So, but that didn't stop most people who wanted to drink from drinking. Like, I read that Fatty Arbuckle had this really fancy car built, and I didn't like put this in my notes. I just remember reading it. And he had he didn't have the car built, but he had like customized to where like it had a place where he could hide booze inside the car. So like if you got pulled over, you wouldn't see the booze. It was like a hidden bar.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny. I know someone like that now, but I'm not going to say. Anyway, it's not hidden either. But anyway, the group got 3 rooms. 1219 would become Arbuckle's infamous room. It was his room, but it would become infamous, you know?
Right.
Virginia Rappe, and her name didn't have an E on it until she started like modeling and stuff. And then she put an E on the end of it. So she was
sound prettier.
Virginia Rappe. And then she's like, I'm going to be Virginia Rappe.
Because it sounds prettier?
Yeah. It sounded more, you know.
Right. Well, that's like freaking Rita Hayworth. That wasn't her name at all.
No, but the studio named her.
Yeah.
Anyway, any hoodles. So Virginia Rappe attended this party with her friend Maud Delmont. And Virginia...
I've heard that name before.
And Henry Learman, her fiance, had an argument that weekend or before that weekend or whatever. And so he went to New York for the weekend while she went to San Francisco.
Okay.
And so Virginia drank and danced and partied with everyone. And this is where like it just gets hazy. So because there's so many different versions. Okay. So the facts of exactly what happened are
Perception is a crazy thing, isn't it?
Right. So it's still a mystery today of what really happened. And there's a lot of speculation and hearsay about what really happened.
Okay.
So somehow Arbuckle and Virginia wound up in his bedroom with the door locked for about 30 minutes, according to Maud Delmont, the 30-minute time frame, right? Okay. And she heard a scream and she demanded that Arbuckle open the door, but he didn't because he just didn't. Like, he didn't open the door. And she was unable
Because why would he?
Because, right. Because he just didn't.
She's like, I demand you open this door. And he's so, like, fuck off.
So, because she couldn't get into the room, she went and got the assistant manager and was, like, hoping that he would have a key or something to open the door. And so finally, like, they get Arbuckle to open the door. And when he finally did open the door, he's wearing like these striped pajamas, and he's wearing pajamas. He's wearing her hat. So Virginia's one of her big ass hats that she's designed, like all in a sideways way on the top of his head, like all trying to be funny, right?
Okay.
And behind Arbuckle, Virginia was semi-naked on the bed, moaning, clearly in distress. And everybody's like, oh my God, she's drunk. So let's put her in the bathtub and we'll fill it with cold water. Wait.
Oh God, she's going to die.
I don't get it. Like, she's drunk, put her in a cold water. It's whatever. What's with that? So then she was
maybe like how you like throw water at someone if they're being crazy or something. I don't know, like bring them back.
Maybe, I don't know.
The shock, the cold shock like brings you back or something is maybe the thought. But I think maybe like, I don't know, not in a potential drowning situation.
Right, when somebody's so fucked up. So then, or they think she's really fucked up anyway. So, or drunk. I'm trying not to cuss so much. It's kind of working, kind of not. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm working through things myself, but I don't really give a fuck.
Then she was taken to her own room, which Arbuckle paid for her to recover. So the doctors were called and told by Maud. So Maud calls a doctor, right? She calls one doctor, then she calls another doctor. And she told both the doctors that Arbuckle had raped Virginia, and everybody's like, oh, you're so full of shit. Like, her claims were totally dismissed, and they thought that she was just drunk and she needed to sleep it off. And so she stayed in the room until September 7th. So this happened September 5th, and then not December, September, sorry. So it happened September 5th. She stayed in the room until September 7th. And because she just kept getting worse and worse, she was finally admitted to the hospital, and she died on September 9th, and she was 30 years old.
Aww.
So, but she represented herself as being 26. So if you can look 26 and be 30, cheers to you.
I think most people these days that are celebrity public figures do that.
Pass for younger or say they are. So Maud...
Yeah, well, they're full of botulism, so...
Oh, yep. Maud Delmont went to the police and she reported that Virginia had been raped by Arbuckle, and the investigation and the subsequent 3 trials.
3
trials would all be based...
situation?
Huh?
It's going to be a Diddy situation?
Right. Well, never mind. Just don't. Because they didn't... like mistrial and all that. They decided. Anyway,
yeah,
so
well, I know, but this is the second trial he's been at, I think.
the other were civil, though. This is the first
Still.
criminal. But anyway, so all the information that they had is all based on conjecture, and it's like a he said, she said kind of thing, but Virginia's dead. So Maude is relaying what Virginia told her, and she's telling police and prosecutors, and then there are a couple of other witnesses who they interviewed who have the same story as Maude. So the he said, she said is not from Virginia. It's just what people are saying Virginia said because she's dead, obviously, so she can't represent herself or speak on her own behalf.
Right.
So the autopsy revealed that the cause of Virginia's death was a ruptured bladder, which resulted in peritonitis, which is an infection in the abdomen. The cause of the ruptured bladder was a result of extreme pressure being applied to the abdomen. There was no evidence that there was peritonitis prior to her bladder being ruptured. The autopsy...
That sounds really fucking painful.
Right? The autopsy also revealed extensive bruising to her legs and thighs.
I get bad cramps.
And arms.
I could not imagine if a body part of mine ruptured.
That's bad.
That sounds like that would hurt so
That's why she was on bed crying in pain, and they thought that she
I
was
understand.
drunk and threw her in a cold tub.
I know, but it's horrible.
When Maude
Okay, so they found that was her cause of death?
was a ruptured bladder and peritonitis. Yes. Peritonitis is an infection.
Okay,
Obviously,
so
they didn't know
why is he going to trial then?
I'm getting there.
Okay, I'm like, why is he getting I understand that it could look weird, but if the cause of death is ruled literally natural.
Not natural. They said it was from extreme external pressure. He weighed 300 fucking pounds.
Okay, so it was, okay. He caused the natural death.
Yeah, well, that's not natural. Getting squished until your bladder bursts and giving you an internal infection, that's not natural causes.
Okay, yes, fair. Sorry.
Okay. When Maude had Virginia admitted to the hospital, she then called the police and she claimed that Virginia told her, quote, Roscoe did this to me. So all this police investigation starts while Virginia's in the hospital, but police don't get to Virginia to interview her until after she dies, because that's when they're like,
so they never actually got to her.
Yeah, they never actually interviewed her because I don't know how seriously they took Maude. And then when she died, they were like, oh shit, we probably should check this out. During the course of the investigation, a woman named Alice Blake, who was a chorus girl who had attended the party, said that the day after the party, Virginia had told her Roscoe hurt me. So she had went and hung out with her in the room that Roscoe had got her. And then another woman named Zay Prevost said Virginia told her, quote, I'm dying, and he did it.
Oh my gosh.
Both of these women confirmed what Maude had already told the investigators, right? That Roscoe did this to her.
Right. These are people who spoke to her and she's telling them he killed me.
Right.
Basically.
He did this to me. He hurt me. After police interviews and going through the hotel suite and gathering evidence, Arbuckle was arrested.
What was that sound that just came out of your mouth? Police. What?
Police interviews in the hotel suite gathering evidence. Arbuckle was arrested on September 11th and he was charged with murder.
2 days later.
Yep, 2 days after she died.
Yeah.
A nurse named Vera Cumberland, who worked at the hospital where Virginia had been taken, said that Virginia told her that her injuries had occurred from improper relations with Arbuckle, and she couldn't confirm or deny, the nurse couldn't confirm or deny whether the sex had been consensual or not, because Virginia was just overly anxious that her fiance, Henry Learman, would find out, and she didn't want him to find out what happened. So whether she was doing it willingly or not willingly, she's like, oh, fuck, he can't know about this.
Well, it sounds like, given the fact that she was rejecting all of his advances prior, that probably was not consensual would be my take on it.
Yeah, mine too. But
we weren't there, so we don't know.
We don't know. Alfred Semneker was a close friend of Arbuckle's, but he was also Virginia's manager. And he told investigators that Virginia told him that Roscoe hurt her. And Maude, again, she told investigators that Arbuckle said, quote, I've wanted you, that Virginia told her when she was in the hospital, that Arbuckle said to Virginia told Maude, I've wanted you for 5 years. Now I got you. As I said, Arbuckle and Virginia had worked together and he was totally infatuated with her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She's rejected all of his advances before.
Right. He's like, I've wanted you for 5 years and
now's my time. You're drunk.
Yeah.
And your husband's not here.
Yeah.
Or your fiance. Sorry.
Your fiance.
your fiancé.
Several witnesses told investigators that when he finally opened the door, that aside from Virginia being half naked on the bed, moaning in pain, Arbuckle said to Virginia, "Shut up or I'll throw you out the window." Right?
What the fuck?
That's very compassionate.
Yeah, he really cares about her.
Because the case was so very circumstantial, a second autopsy was performed and the findings were the same, that her injuries had been caused by major external force. The second ME also noted that Virginia had bruising on her upper right arm that was consistent with fingers being pressed into her skin.
How?
So, because like I said, she had bruises like arms, legs, thighs.
Sexually motivated.
Yeah, potentially.
Sounds like they are.
Sounds, yeah. So after all the information was gathered, the DA decided to move forward with the prosecution of Arbuckle for Virginia's rape and murder. Arbuckle's story, of course, was very different from the witness accounts, and he actually had like a couple different stories.
Cool.
So,
of course he did.
Yeah, right. In his first statement, he said that he and Virginia had had a few drinks in his room, and then she said, "I can't breathe," and she ripped off all of her clothes, as one does when you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And then he said there were other people in the room who witnessed this, and because they thought she was drunk, then that's when they put her in the cold bathtub, right?
Yeah, but did they have other people actually in the room that came forward and said, yeah, we witnessed this? Or this was...
We're getting there.
Because the door had already been opened.
Right? Yeah, we're getting there. So then he said 2 women who had attended the party took her to her own room, which... he paid for. So he's like, I haven't got her own room. Like, why would I rape her? And why would I rape her, accidentally kill her, and get her a hotel room? Like, I would have just kicked her to the curb, basically. I would have thrown her out the window I
would have thrown her out the window, as witnesses heard me say.
Right. He later said that they had been in his room with the door locked, but only for a short time. And he said that he had gone into his room and he had found her vomiting. So why would you lock the door if you go in there and she's puking, right?
Right. You're like, oh God, this needs to be so under wraps.
Yeah. So the
celebrities don't puke.
No. So the ME's final conclusion was that it was manslaughter and not murder, because Arbuckle hadn't intentionally killed her. It was just an accident if he was responsible for her death in the manner that they say that they definitely assessed that her bladder had been ruptured from extreme external force, right?
I would say that sounds right.
He was 300 pounds. They were like, well, he probably did. Her death is a result of what he did, but he didn't kill her. It was an accident. So the ME was
crushed her to death.
Right. So the ME was like, you should move forward with the charge of manslaughter, not murder. And the DA was like, no, fuck that. And he decided to charge Arbuckle with murder because her death had occurred as a result of another crime, which would, by California law, give him the right to prosecute it as murder. So, of course, the other crime that he was being accused of was rape. So he's like, I'm charging you with the rape and murder, not manslaughter.
Right.
However, a judge ruled based on the ME's findings that Arbuckle should only be charged with manslaughter and not murder. So the DA was like, fine, whatever. That sucks, but we'll do this instead.
Right. As long as he still is put away. That's all they cared about. Yeah, that makes sense. The charge doesn't really much matter as long as it sticks and they're gone.
Well, but murder versus manslaughter. At this time in California, murder carried a death sentence penalty. Manslaughter carried 10 years.
Oh.
So kind of different.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So the DA was like, no, fuck this motherfucker.
Well, I would call it voluntary manslaughter then at that point, probably, right?
I don't know. I think if you're trying to screw somebody and they weigh between 300 pounds and you crush me, I think it's not, I think it's involuntary. But anyway.
Voluntary, you meant to cause some kind of harm.
No, I don't think he did. I think he just wanted to have sex with her and then he didn't realize that he would crush her to death.
Okay.
So that's what I think. So this is a worldwide scandal because Arbuckle was loved by everyone for his role in movies, and the whole world is watching this. Newspapers with salacious headlines sold like crazy.
That's your word.
Salacious. Yes, I've always wanted to use it. Now I got to.
What a salacious scandal.
Yes, salacious.
I know so many things that you could say that about life in.
Well, I never have had the occasion to use the word salacious.
I feel like there's a lot of occasions to use the word salacious.
Well, not in my life.
Yeah. You're like, oh, Daphne's behavior recently was just salacious.
No, I don't think anything you've done I would consider to be salacious.
Yeah, probably not.
Exactly.
But you know what I mean? A salacious light.
Before the trial began, the DA heard rumors that witnesses were being threatened by Arbuckle's defense team and Arbuckle supporters, so those witnesses were given police protection.
Okay.
The first trial started in November of 1921. The defense's strategy was to discredit the witnesses and also to find...
This is all moving really quickly.
Really quickly.
But I guess that's how those times worked.
Yeah.
Now
they didn't have so many murder cases, I guess.
I'm sure there were equally as many murders, I think.
Yeah,
They're just not getting caught.
Not getting prosecuted.
Yeah.
So the defense's strategy was to discredit the witnesses and also to find witnesses whose stories lined up with Arbuckle's. And they also claimed that Virginia had a previous condition that Arbuckle and other partygoers had tried to their best to help her. Like, so that her bladder thing, her like moaning in pain.
They were saying that was pre-existing.
Yeah, that was
she had
something.
A bladder infection or something happening before.
That like, it was like normal for her to be crying in pain, get drunk, and rip off her clothes. So.
Okay. Normal behavior.
Yep. That's a Saturday night for Virginia. The prosecution's strategy was to add to the scandal by claiming that a party fueled by sex and alcohol had resulted in Virginia's death. The prosecution also claimed that Arbuckle had lured her to the party with promises.
This is prohibition, so they're not even supposed to be drinking.
Right.
It's illegal to have alcohol at this time.
And these people are living this life that other people are like, wow, that's crazy.
Right.
The prosecution also claimed that Arbuckle had lured her to the party with promises of career advancement because it was a well-known fact that Roscoe was a womanizer and he lusted after Virginia. So he's like, hey, I'll put you starring in this movie with me. Come to my party.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the prosecution said.
The casting couch?
Casting couch. So I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what the prosecution said. The defense relied on the fact that the prosecution had no tangible evidence. So everything's just conjecture. Like I said, he said, she said. And she didn't even say, just what people say she said. And just the word of a few witnesses
on record. Yeah.
Just the word of a few witnesses who themselves were questionable at best. Because remember, all these people at this party are at this party.
Right. They're all drinking. They're all some kind of notoriety to some nature.
So, for instance, Maud Delmont was discovered to be a bigamist, which obviously ruined her credibility as a witness.
What is a bigamist?
Married to more than one person.
Isn't that a polygamist?
A bigamist. She's only married to two people. Polygamist is multi.
Isn't two also multi?
Well, a bigamist just means you're married to two people.
Okay.
So, which obviously ruined her credibility.
That would be very fucking challenging to be married to two people. I can't even imagine being married to one person.
I think it's that whole thing where you were married to somebody and then you guys broke up, but you didn't actually get divorced, but you're done with that relationship and then you move on and you marry someone else.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, but I think she got divorced. She did get divorced.
Oh.
So like Maud was just like, cool, we're done. We don't need to get divorced. It's whatever. I'm going to marry this guy.
Okay. Got it.
So that's, I don't think she was like
bigamist.
Yeah. I don't think she was going from like this apartment to that apartment. I think it was like one of those, we're done, but we're not really going to like worry about getting it officially done.
Got it.
So the prosecution didn't have her testify because obviously that would ruin her credibility as a witness because the defense is going to attack the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? How can we believe you? You're married to two people at the same time who don't even know, blah, blah. So Betty Campbell.
You're immoral.
Right. Yep. Betty Campbell, another party goer, testified that she spent much of the party fighting off one of Arbuckle's friends and co-hosts of the party, Lowell Sherman. Betty was pulled into his bedroom and he locked the door. And she said she could hear people outside of the door, on the other side of the door, whatever, laughing and joking about her being pulled in the room and locked in there and realizing that like nobody was going to come to her rescue.
So
fucked. So she ran in the bathroom and she locked herself in, but he kept trying to get at her. He finally gave up and she was able to exit his room. But as she was leaving, the other co-host of the party, Fred Fishbach, tried to push her back into the bedroom. So then she shut the door herself and she locked herself in. And when the coast was clear, she was able to get out and leave the party. So it's like a whole party of fucking race rapists. Yay.
Jeez, that's actually disgusting.
That's pretty fucked up. Well, it's men who think they can just take what they want, it seems like.
Well, I feel like that's a lot of Hollywood, though. Wow. It's a lot of not even just Hollywood. It's a lot of
people.
Men.
Yeah.
I mean, there's women who do it too, but I think men are by nature more forceful about it.
More aggressive.
Women have a different way of going about doing what they want to do without consent, right? Than men do. I feel like with men, it's more sexual aggression.
Sure.
Statistically, I think.
Statistically speaking.
I think that that's legitimate. I think women's is not as high.
Okay. As I said, there were 2 autopsies performed.
I'm not a man hater. I'm just saying.
Just the facts.
I'm just
the facts,
literally
ma'am.
stating the facts.
So 2 autopsies, and one ME said there were no signs of rape, and the other one said that there were signs of rape. They did, however, both agree that the ruptured bladder had been caused by external force.
Wow, that just fucking sounds like that would hurt so
bad.
Fucking,
Like, pop your bladder like a water balloon, right?
Yeah, well, like when you have to pee so bad and there's so much pressure on it, if it just exploded internally.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get really, really, really painful cramps sometimes. I cannot imagine having my bladder explode.
No.
And I have some pretty cool bladder training that I've done. Not good for me, but I've done it.
All right. Moving on.
Sorry.
It's okay. A forensic fingerprint expert said that he found Virginia's fingerprints on the door and Arbuckle's over top of hers in such a way that he concluded meant that Arbuckle's hand had been placed over top of Virginia's. At first, when I read that, I was like, well, how would if his fingerprints are over top of hers, then how is her hand there? Because how are you going to have 2 sets of fingerprints in the same place? Then when I reread it and it said in such a way, it makes you think like her hand was here, like as I'm showing, but it's a podcast. Her hand is here and his hand is here. So his hand is like over top of hers, fingers longer, fingers bigger. Her hand is like the little hand in the print and his is like the big hand in the print.
Okay.
So if that makes sense. Since
the overlapping, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the way you just thoughtfully illustrated it for everyone listening.
When Alfred Semniker was called to the stand, reluctantly, he was called to the stand because remember, he was her manager, but also he was Arbuckle's friend, right?
Okay.
Al was present during a conversation the next day between Arbuckle, Sherman, and Fishbach, where they were discussing the party, and apparently it's implied that Arbuckle used ice in a sexual act that was performed on Virginia. And while Arbuckle was describing it, everyone was laughing. And this ice incident later turned into like being a Coke bottle or a champagne bottle in like urban legends or as the story grows. But that's not true. Because that's what I always heard, that he had raped her with a Coke bottle and that's how she died.
I've never heard that one before.
Yep, that's what I heard.
I've never heard also about her rupturing. I've just heard that she died. And it was suspicious. That's what I've heard.
Like I said, I don't
know any details. I didn't even know her name. But when you said Fatty Arbuckle, then I knew.
Gotcha. Like I said, the urban legends, the myths, whatever, just grew. And it's part of like the newspaper selling kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, oh, Arbuckle rapes Virginia with a Coke bottle.
Ew.
Yeah. So
the rumor mill just took off.
Yes. Arbuckle took the stand in his own defense and he said, quote, "When I walked into 1219, I closed the door and locked it. I went into the bathroom where I found Miss Rappe on the floor in front of the toilet. She'd been vomiting." End of the quote. He then carried her to the bed and then he went.
Why did you say it like that?
I don't know.
End of the quote.
End of the quote.
But the whole time, Mrs. Rappe was on the floor. She was vomiting.
She was vomiting. Then he said he carried her to the bed and then he went to go get help.
I highly doubt that is anything what his voice sounded like.
Probably not. Then Virginia tore off her clothes and Maud Delmont rubbed ice on her stomach, but that didn't help, so that's why they put her in the tub. And remember, Maud can't testify because her character's been discredited, so she can't like counter that statement and be like, no, that didn't happen.
Right.
He's just like, oh, this is what happened, because this bitch can't say it didn't, because everybody will tear her apart. My defense team will tear her apart on the stand. So
character's been attacked.
Yes. Then he said that he and Fred carried her into the room that Arbuckle had got for her. Lowell Sherman was called to the stand as a witness for the defense, but he didn't really help their case because on the prosecution's cross-examination, they referred to Lowell Sherman's testimony where he said the party was just a few old friends chatting. And the DA said, quote, "A few old friends? What did you think when Virginia Rappe was carried out screaming?" And he replied, "I thought she was drunk." And he admitted that he was there while the remainder of her clothes were taken off. And so then the DA asked, is it customary for men at a party to take a girl's clothes off and for other men to watch, even if she is drunk? Wouldn't you say that that's more than a couple of old friends chatting?
Jeez.
Yeah. After 44 hours of deliberation, the jury was deadlocked 10-2, so that resulted in a mistrial. 10 for not guilty and 2 for guilty. But it was rumored that some of the jurors believed he was guilty, but the prosecution didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, so they didn't want to convict him. But
Right. They also don't want to get attacked since they're known people.
well, and the defense said that it was just one lone juror that was a holdout. And I can't remember her name was Helen something because I wasn't going to put it in, but I'm just mentioning it because they made her be like the scapegoat of the whole thing of why it's a mistrial and she was the only one and blah, blah, blah. But there were actually 2 that said, no, he's guilty. And more of them would have said that he was guilty had the defense or had the prosecution had a little bit more. But they have nothing concrete. All they have is everything's circumstantial.
Hearsay.
Yeah, everything's circumstantial and hearsay. So the second trial started January 11th of 1922. So moving real fast here. And the defense did a full-on victim blaming thing. Her character was called into question as a woman who would have sex with anyone and that she was like a big partier and stuff. And they also said that she had previous severe abdominal pain that flared when she was drinking. And this always resulted in her tearing her clothes off. But it was determined that the woman who testified to that was flat out lying and it could be proven that she was lying. So she was charged with perjury because this lady had a hotel and she said that Virginia Rappe had stayed at her hotel and that had happened. But then it was...
How was it proven otherwise?
That she didn't stay at the hotel and like she wasn't even in that area at that time.
Okay.
So she didn't stay at that hotel.
So it was proven that she'd never even been to the hotel.
Correct.
Or not in that time frame anyway.
Yeah. Well, not at the hotel ever as far as anybody could find.
Okay.
So she was charged with perjury.
Oh, shit, so that's just straight up a lie.
Straight up a lie. So she was charged with perjury. 2 other witnesses.
It wasn't like she got drunk and went streaking through the lobby when she was 18 there.
Right. 2 other witnesses were discredited. Can't talk. Discredited. And another one was a friend of Arbuckle's, it turns out. And so he was also discredited. 4 people solicited the defense for money to testify on Arbuckle's behalf, but the defense denied paying anyone to testify.
Okay.
The prosecution called old friends of Virginia's who said they didn't have any knowledge of her having bladder issues or ever seeing her tearing her clothes off when she got drunk. And according to her medical records, she had no history of bladder infections.
Yeah. Duh.
A security guard at Culver Studios testified that Arbuckle had tried to bribe him to give him a key to Virginia's dressing room. So that happened.
What a freak.
Yeah. Some prosecution witnesses changed their testimony and claimed that the DA had forced them to lie.
Nice.
So it's all going to shit.
Yeah.
The fingerprint analyst also said that maybe he could have been mistaken, but he wasn't like for sure now about the hand over the hand thing.
So they're getting paid off.
Something. So Arbuckle didn't take the stand this time, which I feel like they usually don't put defendants on the stand. It's a smart move not to, but whatever.
Right.
After 50, because if the jury doesn't
like you... How does
like
a fish
you,
get caught?
If the jury doesn't like you, they're going to find you guilty, you know?
How does a fish get caught?
How does a fish get caught?
He opens his mouth.
Oh, good one. Nice. After 15 hours...
You Angie from Desperate Housewives.
After 15 hours of deliberation, another mistrial was declared. This time,
15 hours?
15 hours. The first one was 44. This is 15. So this time it was thought... This time, though, it was a 10-2 guilty verdict. So 10 people thought he was guilty and 2 people thought he wasn't.
Okay.
But during all this happening, right, and it's not a very long time frame, we've already established she died in September. His trial started in November. Second trial is in January. So it's not very much time, right, that's passing by. Oh, sorry, hit the mic. All of this started like a huge uproar of immorality in films and the lifestyles of the people that were involved in the film industry.
The lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Exactly. Arbuckle's films were banned.
Ooh.
And the newspapers flew off the shelves with stories of Hollywood orgies, murder, and sexual perversion, all related to this case.
Damn.
And little Maud Delmont, was traveling the country with a one-woman show as, quote, the woman who signed the murder charges against Arbuckle. And she was also lecturing the public on, quote, the evils of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So she's like making some money off of
things she's experienced.
Yeah. The third trial started on May 13th of 1922 with little to no changes in anything from the second trial, but it took the jury only 6 minutes to decide on a unanimous not guilty verdict. But by this time, public opinion of Arbuckle was that he was a perverted rapist.
Right.
And
I was going to say the court of public opinion is equally as bad as the actual court proceedings themselves.
6 days after the verdict, the censorship board banned Arbuckle from ever working in films in the United States again.
Right. Well, I feel like that's what we're going to see in regards to Diddy, right? Like the court of public opinion, like he's never going to be who he was before.
No.
Even though, he got proven as not guilty, like and some charges got dropped and whatever against him. He's never going to be the P. Diddy again.
No, people aren't going to look at him the same.
Yeah, his public perception now his popularity vote is very low now.
Well, it depends, but I'm not going to get into that.
I'm just saying that's the same. Same.
But before the scandal, Arbuckle had just signed a 3-year deal with Paramount Pictures for $1 million a year.
So he's going to Paramount Plus. I was like, I love Paramount Plus.
So he was guaranteed to make $3 million in 3 years. In today's money, that's about $18 million a year, $20 million a year, whatever, like inflation, deflation.
Okay.
And remember, this is 1921, but that's a done deal.
All 3 trials happened in 1921?
No, he signed that deal
in
1921 because he had signed it just before all this happened.
Did I say 1991? I meant to say 1921 if I said
1921. And also I read that, but I don't know if it's true because I only read it in one place, but it was speculated that the studio didn't really do anything to help him because they thought he was like kind of out of control and they thought he was like too big for his britches kind of thing, literally and figuratively. And so they just existed. Yeah, they just let whatever happen. Like they didn't do anything to go out of their way to like defend him and say, oh no, he would never. And
okay.
You know what I mean? They were like, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Got it.
I also read that Virginia was going to get an abortion and that Arbuckle was going to help her get the abortion and pay for it because he knew like somebody who did that. But also only found that in one or 2 places, never found it anywhere else. So
okay.
I'm going to go with that's probably not true. His wife, who stayed by his side during all the trials, even though they were estranged.
She was married?
Yeah, but they were estranged or separated or whatever. But there she was, the dutiful wife at his trials, like, oh, my husband's so great. She filed for divorce in January of 1925, charging him with desertion. In May of 1925, he married again and tried to get back into movie making, but the industry wouldn't distribute his films, so that was a no-go for him. Okay. He started drinking a lot more than he already did. He had a friend, Buster Keaton. I don't know if he's also Silent Film Days.
I've heard that name before.
Okay. He was a big shot in Hollywood, and he gave him work on his films, co-directing or directing films. He also directed a number of shorts under the pseudonym William Goodrich. His second wife divorced him in 1929, not 1999, 1929.
Like, damn, he lived a long time.
Charging him with desertion and cruelty.
Okay.
He married again in 1931, and around this time he had signed a contract with Jack Warner to star in 6 short comedies under his own name. So obviously, like, the dust is settled.
Yeah.
And he's not banned anymore with if Jack Warner, so it's like Warner Brothers.
Right. That's Warner Brothers?
Well, it's one Warner brother, I guess.
Okay.
Jack Warner signed him to star in these 6 comedies, and the films were super successful. On January 28th, 1933, Arbuckle finished filming the last of the 6 shorts, and he's popular again, and he's back in the public eye in a good way, not in a bad way. And he was quoted as saying, "This is the best day of my life." And it might have been like too much for him. He might have gotten too excited because he had a heart attack that night and he died. He was 46 years old.
Well, it sounds like he wasn't also the most healthy person.
No.
Sounds like he didn't live the most healthy lifestyle. He probably could have afforded to live a better lifestyle than he did.
Probably. So in the end, no justice for Virginia if he did cause her death. But if he did, at least he got some karma and he didn't just get a pass all the way around.
Right.
But also, to your point that you just made right now, because that's the end. The end.
Woo!
But to your point
great.
that you just made now, that he like could have afforded to live a better lifestyle or a different lifestyle.
Healthier life.
I feel like the whole reason that I gave like his backstory was because like he grew up shitty. And then all of a sudden he gets fame and fortune.
He grew up impoverished, so he indulged in the
yeah, and shitty. Like his dad hated him. His dad abandoned him. He's like, okay, your mom's dead. I don't have to fucking take care of you anymore. You know?
So sad.
Yeah. He gets fame and fortune and he's just going to live large.
I bet his dad came after him.
Oh, probably.
It was like,
I love you, son.
I love you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yep. So that's it.
That's my kid.
That's
Thank you. I liked it. Well, I don't like it. It was really sad. I don't know. Sounds like, trying to figure out my words. I'm sorry. Sounds like maybe natural causes in an unnatural way.
No.
No.
How would naturally your bladder get ruptured?
She died of natural causes due to unnatural circumstances.
No.
Infection?
Yeah.
Infection kills people.
But that infection also not natural causes.
Infections happen to people.
Yeah, they do, but it's not considered natural causes. They say you died of an infection.
Okay.
If you die of an infection, they don't go, oh, it's natural causes. So natural causes
she died of an infection, not strangulation.
No. Well, basically, her bladder was strangled till it died, or till it burst, and then she died.
That's so sad.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I feel.
Well, I feel like he's obviously responsible, and I feel like there's no denying of the fact that he crushed her. So, yeah.
Well, apparently people thought that he didn't.
Well, of course people thought they didn't. He probably paid him off.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. But given the fact that he was like in a whole party of rapists.
Well, I was going to say, he's also with his friend, what was Lowell?
Lowell Sherman and Freddie Fishbach.
Yeah, Lowell's also pulling girls into rooms.
Right. And Freddie's like, oh, hey, stay in there. I'm going to go get him. Since you came out, I'm going to get you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I know a lot of people with the name, not a lot. I know people with the name Fishbach. The last name, just Freddie Fishbach. That's a lot for me.
Well, Fred, but like whenever they talked about him, they're like, oh, Freddie Fishbach.
Oh, Freddie Fishbach.
Freddie. Good old Freddie.
Good old Freddie. That was a lot of...
Good old Freddie the rapist.
Good old Freddie the rapist, yeah. Well, thank you. That was, I knew he was allegedly a killer. Allegedly. And that it never, they never actually had any consequence for what had happened, but I didn't know the story behind it. I knew it happened in suspicious circumstances too. Mm-hmm. I'd heard bits and pieces, but I didn't know. I also didn't know that she was a celebrity. I thought she wasn't a celebrity.
Thought she was just a random girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like maybe you said he's got charged raping other people though? Mm-mm. Or that he had been accused of it? Mm-mm. No, this one and done.
Well, yeah, he was just like a womanizer. Okay. And so whether or not it was consensual or not. Maybe because
she was less famous in a way, I guess.
Oh, yeah, she was way less famous than he was.
That's why.
Yeah. And apparently he didn't take her not wanting to be with him very...
Yeah, he didn't take to it too kindly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for that.
Sure.
That was really sad.
Yeah. It was pretty sad. I've been wanting to do that one for a while, and obviously had a lot of time to get it done, which I didn't really.
2 months.
Just did it recently. But
you got 2 months to get it done. Yeah. It's fine. I still haven't finished working on what I'm working on that we're going to record in a few days, and we're really going to try our best to be better. We had a conversation about it. This is something we really cared about, and yes, life happens to everyone, but if this was a real job, you had to show up from 9 to 5, because life happened, we wouldn't get to take 2 months off.
Nope, we wouldn't. We
were on maternity leave. Or that close of personal bereavement,
Yeah, bereavement. Lots of bereavement.
We did have lots of bereavement for a short amount of time. That a lot happened in a short space of time.
Yes.
But also we can't we
can't keep making excuses. We either do it or we don't do it.
Exactly.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. Yeah. We're gonna do our best to do it.
Yeah.
Try our best to give it to each other and do it.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you. What's our spiel? I forget. Oh, you can follow us on Instagram. That's Disturbing Podcast.
Where we never post, but we're going to also try to do that more.
Yeah, well, I feel like when we post the episode, we just have to do it.
Yeah, but we need to post more other stuff too.
Probably. Yeah. And I'm going to teach my mom how to start making things look aesthetically pleasing and do it nicely, because my posts look very different than her posts where she writes in fucking red coloring on.
It's so you guys can read it. All 4 of you.
All 4 of you
Well,
can read
actually,
it.
I think
We actually have quite a few Instagram followers, and we are still getting new followers. So that's like really cool. And I so appreciate the support.
I appreciate the support as well. That's why I feel like we need to get our shit together.
Yeah,
But
because
it's hard to get your
some
shit
people like
together
listening
sometimes.
to us.
Some people do.
Some
Other people
enjoy
don't.
us.
We also have gotten some criticism, but we just do what we do the best we can, try to be respectful, and that's all we can do. Any
Yeah.
hoodles?
But you know what? I had a conversation with the guy I'm seeing that you're not everyone's cup of tea. We are never going to be everyone's cup of tea.
No.
As long as, we stick to our values and our morals while doing this. That's all we can ask.
And
if anyone.
The minute you publicly expose yourself, you're going to have people who hate you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you put yourself out there, and I saw a lot of people about this new season of Love Island, and they're like, oh, these girls are all putting themselves out there and like they're your number one. But the second something bad happens, you're so quick to turn your back and go to online bullying and all that. And so
yeah, people suck.
Same.
Trolls be trolling.
Yeah, they do. Fuck.
Yep.
Trolly be troll.
So anyway, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram.
At That's Disturbing Podcast.
I don't really check the email very often, so if you could just DM us if you have a case request or comment it on Instagram. I check the email from time to time, but I just don't really have any reason to check it right now.
Right.
I get a lot of people who try to sell us website building or, can you please stop? She closes her computer and then starts wiping the top of it off, and there's some speck on there that she doesn't like, so she starts scratching it, and the microphone is right there. I mean, I know I'm the queen of making sounds with my feet, but you are literally making a sound directly underneath the microphone.
Okay. Not bad.
You're 6 inches from it and you're making sounds.
I think that's more than 6 inches. Anyway, back to our sign off.
Bye-bye.